skipping ad, also imminent. Minor accident imminent. Viewer skipping ad, also imminent.
Corner 7354, contact ground as you vacate 126 decimal 5, good night. Corner 7354, contact ground as you vacate. Velocity 562, threshold wind 260 degrees 4 knots, tailwind 1, runway 16 right, clear to land.
Runway 16 right to land.
Yo. Hello. How are you all doing? Yo. Hello. How are you all doing? No attack dropping. Just finished at work and thought I'd come past on the way. Deactivate. Activate. There we go. It's a pretty good view. It's not a bad view. Don't ask yourself that question too hard, Nathan. I don't think you'll like the answer you get to it. It is very random. So QR 909 to Doha. A380 800. Hey Taylor, how are you? I'm just going to move this camera forward a bit. So we've got Malaysian over there, should be pushing back shortly. Thai would have just arrived at a depart tomorrow morning. I believe this Qantas will be departing. I believe. I may be wrong. So we got Jetstar 959 from Cairns, 1 minute out. Followed by Qantas 494 from Melbourne, Milgram. EK 414 is just past 20,000 feet, it's 21 minutes away. We've still got bamboo over there. It's been there for about a week now. Are you talking to me, Nathan? Sorry, I've only just looked back at the chat. Thank you for answering that, Chris.
Qantas 494, 262 degrees 5 knots, tailwind 1.
It's just at the milk run, 494 from Melbourne. So they're just doing a final walk around down here. Make sure she's all shut up. I believe that's MH122. Everyone's, I think, a little bit on extra watch, lookout, especially after what happened in Brisbane the other day with Singapore. Left the pitot tube covers on. Luckily some refueler noticed it. There was yesterday, SID squad was on yesterday. I think the A330s to Sydney to Melbourne is just availability of planes. It's also probably repositioning because a lot more 330s go international from Melbourne than they do from Sydney, I believe, because they go to LA and stuff as well.
Good evening, ambulance 223.
Ambulance 223, Sydney Tower, good evening.
Ooh, sorry. No, they should go back to more places soon. I think it's more down to the fact of they don't have the planes. They don't have crews ready. So I think they've still got another couple of Dreamliners in the desert. Qantas didn't really help themselves much at the start of the pandemic when they shut everything down. Like you look at like United Airlines, they flew into Sydney 2 flights a day. The entire pandemic, sometimes 3 times a week. They had 3 times a week. They had 3 flights a day. You know, it's not helped Qantas a lot. Like the American airlines have scored big time, really. You know, because they've been flying the whole time. Qatar. A lot of Europe would be going to Qatar because they were basically the only airline that stuck by anyone in Sydney and flew anyway that direction. So flying to Europe, I wouldn't fly Qantas anyway. Personally, I would be flying with Qatar. But that's just personal preference of flying Qantas to Europe, and I didn't rate it, to be being completely honest. Yeah, they did buy the 350 to do London and New York non-stop, but whether or not they'll do that with it is a different question. Who's really going to want to sit on a plane for 21 plus hours? There'll be certain people, but there won't be 12 A350s worth of people that want to do it. Or New York, it's just so long. You can't do that flight with kids. Like I know personally, like from travelling with my son, he's good. But 20 hours locked in a tube, they go crazy. You can't keep them entertained. So they'd have to be doing something very special on those flights to keep people's interest in them. Qantas used to fly to New York. I think they probably could have made New York with the 400 that they, you know, because they did have the ERF. The ER, sorry. But they obviously stopped that route because it wasn't profitable. What was it? Sydney, Los Angeles, New York. So there's obviously a reason that stopped. I think this Dreamliner down here is not going anywhere for the night. I'll move this forward a bit. Yeah, I don't think she's going anywhere tonight. APU's being serviced. Bloody ball. 414 is not too far away, I don't believe. Probably about 10 minutes now. We've got MH, I think it's 122. I could be wrong. I'll have a look and see. Well, I've only flown to Fiji on Fijian Airways and Hawaiian both in economy, but I feel like it was first to business, so I did not. Yeah, I don't know. Flown both to Fiji and Hawaii, but I flew Jetstar to Hawaii and United from the States when I flew with them. Yeah, I think I just saw that, Chris, just out in the distance there. United was outstanding. Jetstar was absolutely atrocious. But what do you expect? There you go, the 380 414 coming in there. It's just a bit far away. I don't know. Yeah, it's
February 223, they get runway left and call ground. Good night.
It's a tough call, Nathan. Really. I personally would fly it.
456, 60 between Gulf and the crossing runway are available. Directional wind 260 degrees at 5 knots, tailwind 1 knot. Runway 16 right, clear to land.
It's a 414, clear to land.
Runway 16 right, clear to land.
That feature is good. I am when I used to work at the airport. I used to do Air Pacific. It was when they were Air Pacific actually. The 7-4. They used to fly down here, and it's one of the perks of the job is you got to get a feed out of the plane. Personally, I only have two carriers I'll realistically enjoy flying. Qatar is my favourite to Europe direction, and then if I'm going to the States, has to be United. Though I am very biased, like my old man does work for United, so. Come on. It doesn't load zoom. You focus in a second. Who's commenting on my profile, my account? Oh no. We just locked that a sec. No funky livery tonight. It's going. can say I have seen all three of them now. I've seen the all blue Expo, the Future, whatever it was, and the 50th. Just haven't seen the 50th on the triple.
Tower, good evening. Emirates 8 Papa Alpha Super with you, GLS 165.
Emirates 8 Papa Alpha Super, Sydney Tower, g'day, continue approach. Emirates 8 Papa, Emirates 8 Papa Alpha, the threshold to 60 degrees at 6 knots, the maximum tailwind 2 knots, currently showing 1 knot.
Ah, we have a delay. Let's reload this. So we got Malaysian. I've been trying to look that up. I'd love to fly Etihad. I want to fly the. My parents have flown the Etihad A380. They actually fly Etihad a fair bit, so it must be good. Thanks, Chris. Well, let's be honest, tiny space, wearing a mask and probably not so good food. Or sleep for 21 hours, I would lose my mind. Oh. Now see, I love flying. Put me in a plane for as long as you want. Etihad is coming back at some point with 3 times weekly flights. No dates being given. Etihad are flying back here daily already. Chris, what do you mean with the 380? But I'm pretty sure they've mothballed this. Honestly, Qantas need an inspiration from Emirates, like they fly pretty much everywhere. Yeah, Qantas just isn't big enough. Like, if you look at the fleet size difference, you can't compete with Emirates. 123 A380s. Qantas have got 12 Dreamliners. 12 Dreamliners, 10 A330s, and probably a few more than that. But like, you can't compete with Emirates. Singapore, I think, is the closest one with. I think they had 24 A380s. Oh, sorry, no, Qantas have 12 Dreamliners and 6 A380s, 8 A380s. So I have just been informed, apparently Oman Air is better than Etihad. And this bad girl down here is the one that just brought my parents back from Europe, actually, so I have just been told. But I could see Oman Air being better than Etihad. Etihad seemed to have, when they started struggling with money, they seemed to lose a little bit about the customer. They couldn't be one of the 3 big, Arab countries that failed with an airline. Couldn't be one of the 3 brothers, could he, that failed? So I wonder who's doing the push on this tonight. Ooh. I wonder if old Matty Duff is out there somewhere. Sorry guys. What has just happened there? Sorry about that. Maybe Dallas, but I'm sure those are Dreamliners. Saudi Arabia is also good airlines, and Fleet Saudi is not that big service. Aren't the only places the A380s are going to London, Singapore? Yeah, the A380 is only going through Singapore as a fuel stop. So they've got the QF1 daily out to London. They've got QF12, I believe, or QF11 and 12. Goes, I think, 3 times a week, but it goes once daily with the Dreamliner. Dallas, I don't know if they have started flying back there yet. Lots of bad. There's a lot of bad AW at. That would be because London Heathrow is their main base. I'd be concerned if they're. If there wasn't too many BA planes there. So we still got. What have we got? BA 146 from Brisbane due in 1 minute. Virgin 441 from Adelaide. QF 561 from Brisbane. Still got 498. QF 498 from Melbourne to A330. And we've got the Malaysian departure and the Tasman cargo with the DHL. I believe we're meant to have Pakistan. PIA is meant to be flying down here again very soon. I believe they should already have started, but obviously there's something happening there. So yeah, apparently Oman was perfection, the best service ever had, without a doubt. So there you go. Apparently Oman is a highly recommended airline. FJ915 is coming. Qantas have been. Alright, yeah, I didn't know if they had started flying back to Dallas or not again yet. I believe that must only be a recent thing, but oh, actually, yeah, no, they do, don't they? Is it QF7? Yeah, I think that's only recently just started again. What happened in Melbourne the other day? No, it's in Brisbane. Because I think there's been a few instances around Australia recently, but Singapore, the FAA released it the other day. Singapore went to take off, or not take off, push back with his pitot tube covers on. And the refueler on the plane next to it was the one who noticed.
Sydney Tower evening, Qantas 7292, final 16 right.
Qantas 7292, Sydney Tower, G'day, winds 250
Here's the
degrees.
146.
Tailwinds 1 knot, runway 16 right, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 16 right, Qantas 7292.
I really don't see the purpose of these planes flying into Sydney. Like, how much freight could they honestly bring with them? Oh, we're going for a we're not going for a full run. Gonna get the old intersection departure. Wonder where he's just come from. Well, going, sorry. Because he's just come out of international. He came up base 35 or something like that. QF 7523 to Auckland. It's a late flight to Auckland for Qantas. Check in a second, maybe that's going late. He's light, up and away early. Malaysian's going the full hop. What have we got here? Fiji, is it? No, Virgin. I just saw Fiji in the comments. I was watching last night. Apparently, JetBlue and Spirit in the US are joining ranks, make them the 5th or 6th biggest airline in the US. It's 414 from Adelaide. The plane from Fiji was from Sydney too, but hasn't Qantas also been number one for? No, Qantas are not. They're not the number one, are they? They have been for a long time, but I don't actually think they are. I don't know how that works, because I know they haven't had any instances, but I swear I heard something the other day. I could be wrong. No, sorry, it was named number one in 2021. Fell to 7th on the list. So no, they're not. They're 7th on the list with Virgin Australia, placed equal 10th with Virgin Atlantic. These airlines, like Air New Zealand, have outstanding records and forefront of safety. So there you go. Qantas is 7th, sorry. The list is Air New Zealand number one. It's because they didn't fly anywhere for 2 years, so obviously they're the safest. Etihad, Qatar, 3, 4, Singapore, 5's TAP, Portugal, 6 is SAS, 7's Qantas, 8 Alaskan, Eva Air, Virgin Australia / Atlantic, Cathay Pacific, Hawaiian Airlines, American Airlines, Lufthansa, Swiss Group, and Finnair 15. We've got Air France, KLM, British Airways at 17, Delta at 18, United Airlines at 19, and 20 is Emirates. So another one here, Qantas non-stop flights from Perth to Rome takeoff. First non-stop flights from Australia to continental Europe. Qantas has a second long-haul non-stop route to Europe with its official launch on Saturday of its Perth to Rome flight. So it's QF5 from Perth is the second European flight that Qantas have, and that started on Saturday. No, I don't think it was at London. I think you're talking about where Qantas had that, they left the runway in Thailand. It was Bangkok. The pilots messed up. They didn't get enough, didn't get it down early enough, didn't brake hard enough, and I think they forgot to deploy the reversers. and it was a soaking wet runway. Qantas haven't had the 747 in London for a long time now. They've flown the A380 there for probably the last 10 years, apart from the Dreamliner. 74s usually went to like Japan and the States. If you remember, they only had a few in the last couple of years. They didn't have the whole fleet that they had before. You know, when you send one to New York, one to San Francisco, one to LA, you know, doing that flight there and back, so there's 6 planes gone. Send me a message on Instagram, Nathan. I already just, I had a thought about that earlier. Send me a message on Instagram. QF12 from LAX to Sydney. You got So you got my Instagram? Sweet. I just did hear it ding, phone ding, so have a look at that. I don't see QF12 anyway. Nah, QF12's gone. It's gone, mate. She'll be back in the morning. So I've just been sent Arkia. I've never heard of them before. What a crazy picture. You gotta love it when your parents do a little bit of spotting for you when they go away. QF12, let's have a look. Mine more sniffly. So we have QF94 LAX to Melbourne, 7 hours away. QF16, which is A330 LAX to Brisbane. QF12 is still 7 hours and 52 minutes away, 7879 VHZ and A. We've got double Air Canadas from Vancouver, 37 and 33. We've got, should have a couple of Uniteds in there, triple and a 787. United 3010, Sydney to San Francisco. Oh, spewing. I left at 10 o'clock this morning. Oh, actual. 2:07 PM, sorry. So that must have been something wrong with that, because it was parked up over there last night on the 70s base. We got 863 from San Francisco at 7 hours and 45 minutes. Delta, the same. QF8 Dallas to Sydney. So there you go. Nathan was right there. Qantas uses A330s and 737 for cargo already, and we have many cargo planes come ready, example FedEx, DHL, stuff like that. Yeah, we have a ton of cargo planes, but I feel like there will be more come. I feel like that there will be more coming very, very soon. And Qantas have only really they're only transferring 2 of their A330s over into freighters, so it's the capacity that's going to add to their fleet really is nothing in the bigger scheme of things. QFA cargo is compartment 412 is on his way.
Velocity 441, Sydney.
Are you talking about for the morning droning? In New Zealand, they have their ZKOKO NZ5 LAX to Sydney, LAX to Auckland. So they've actually got their triples flying again. There's another triple here flying, NZ6. I've heard some of their triples aren't in the best of shape after the long COVID. Parking. The other day at LAX there was Qantas A380, 787 and A330. The A330s fly to Brisbane and to Melbourne. Bear 16 is arriving at Singapore.
Velocity 441, back to minimum please if we want to pass before you arrive.
So that means QF2 would not be far behind it then. Ratchet, I believe, because they follow each other back here in the morning. So this is Qantas's contribution realistically to freighters, and it's just to move post. You know, if once their contract ends with Atlas, what are they going to do then? We're missing a few of the regulars tonight. Miss Wolves,
27,
Taylor.
heavy, Smith Hour expedite, line up, runway 16 right.
Who else are we missing?
172,
QF2 is
Alpha 3,
go to arrive in the morning. Yeah, it arrives in the morning, but it follows the BA16 to Singapore. Basically, they tail each other. They leave Singapore at the same time as well. They race each other back here in the morning. Let's get something different on the stream, eh? Oh, here we go, got the 330. Good to have spotted that. Where is it?
175.23, runway 16 right, clear for takeoff.
It's just there now. This is from Melbourne. That's a big milk run. He will take the end bay on domestic over there. Probably bay. I won't even attempt to have a guess. But he should go right over there, I'd imagine. You can see there's already equipment there. I don't think they do Qatar flyers Auckland to Qatar, I'm pretty sure. What did Durrani ask? I didn't get why New Zealand uses 777s to fly Fiji, to be honest. I don't think they are at the moment. Their triples have all been parked up, so they've just pulled 4 out of the desert. They had some parked in Auckland, and they've only just started flying them. Their first one flew Tuesday this week. Flying the A350 tomorrow from Bangkok to Brisbane. Nice. A350 is nice. It's a very nice plane to fly on. No worries, Nathan. No worries at all. QF2 is going to arrive in the morning. Yeah, it does. You already saw that one, didn't I? Is true that Air New Zealand is not operating to UK? No, they do not operate to UK. They actually terminated that service before COVID. They code share. Durrani T. What did Durrani ask? I can't see.
CG 915, winds 260 degrees, 7 knots, tailwind 1 knot, runway 16 right,
Operating. No, I don't think they do. Qatar flies Auckland to Qatar, I'm pretty sure. So Qatar fly from Auckland to Qatar with the 300, 777-300, and their LRs. Hey Lorraine, how are you? They also fly from Adelaide, Melbourne. They fly the cargo 777 into Melbourne as well from Hawaii. They fly from Sydney, Brisbane, and Perth, I believe. So they hit all. Qatar have non-stop flights from here to Doha from every Australian capital city and New Zealand as well. Yeah, the A350 it's a very nice plane to fly on. 787 I'm not a fan of. 350 but yeah, I would take that any day of the week. So I don't know if there is much more to honestly come tonight, seeing as the time started. I want to try and get an early morning stream in, but I am just currently waiting for my new batteries to arrive because I lost my camera, so it's making things a little bit difficult. Well, not both cameras, I lost one camera. So it's a bit difficult to stream when you're short some batteries. What else do we have to come tonight? Yeah, it is getting near curfew, you're right, Lorraine. Well, I flew 737 MAX, personally not the best ever, very cramped. Yeah, see, I don't know how Air Canada fly their MAX from Vancouver down to London. Stuff that.
Malaysian 140, runway 16 right, clear for takeoff.
Airport takeoff, runway 16 right, Malaysian 140.
Bring back the old days when they used to have the 747, Air Pacific 747 economy upstairs. Those are the days. So we've got quarter 65 2 from Perth. See, even from Perth in a 737, any 737, whether or not it be the MAX or the 800, like, you know, the next generation, I couldn't do it. I struggle sitting on an A320 or 737 down to Melbourne or Brisbane. Townsville on an A320 was an absolute shocker. 3 hours. Sitting in a cramped up little tube.
Yes, 987, wind 260 degrees at 5 knots, tailwind 2 knots, runway 16 right, clear to land.
There's only one good cabin to fly on in economy. That would be upper deck on the Qatar A380, right at the back. I wouldn't mind trying Polaris, like United Polaris. But United are not the cheapest to fly with. Here we go, we've got the 767 over there, about to push back. Where are we? Didn't get too far. I'm looking at the right spot, am I? There we go. So I think this is the #1 best workplace, DHL. Even flying 747 for 13 hours is cramped. Here's a weird one. When we fly to Florence at the end of next month, the United 767-300 business class is 111 configuration. Not weird at all. I have flown on United 777-200s that have 111 for business. That was 10 years ago, but actually more like probably 15 years ago. Hello everyone. Samil, hello, how are you? Now 747, 13 hours, put me on a 747 for as long as you want. Though in all fairness, I can't say I have sat in economy on a 747 in a long time. Actually, probably not very much at all. In all fairness. It's kind of the perks of what my dad does for a job. We're flying Polaris to both Munich on the way to Florence and LAX to Melbourne on 7879. In February, United for us was 2,000 cheaper than Delta or American. Well, you'd have to fly to Sydney to fly with Delta or American, I believe, wouldn't you, Chris? My dad was actually just down in Melbourne a few weeks ago for the relaunch of the 787 back down there. I think it's what is it? UA 60? Something like that. "747 to London" was something else. Yeah, but last 747 I can't even remember last 747 I flew to London, apart from via the States. Last 747 I remember I flew on was back from Dubai to somewhere. Something happened with the plane.
Tango 7 Victor Sierra Romeo, thank you. Are you ready for departure?
From Austria.
Tango Sierra Romeo, line up, runway 16 right.
Good being Nathan, thank you very much for that. Yeah, I agree, Lorraine. I do agree. So I'm assuming you wouldn't be a fan for one of the 21-hour flights to London on the 350 when it comes? Tell you what, it is absolutely freezing up here tonight.
Tango Sierra Romeo, runway 16 right, cleared for takeoff.
I think I'd need to be knocked out. Well said. I don't know if they'd do anything strong enough to put you to sleep for that long, would they? That 20-hour flight in first class would probably cost you $30,000.
Toll free, 34, winds 250 degrees at 5.
The A350 is definitely an experience, size-wise, but you cannot beat a 747. I don't care what anybody says. Some of the best trips I've ever had have been on a 747. One of my last times to the States was on 747, actually. United, then they still have their 747s down here. Nice to see you, Miss Wolf. Just mentioned before that you were missing. you and Taylor and a couple other people. I think you're right, Chris. I reckon we might watch Couch's DHL, and I think we might call that a night at that. Because I won't lie, I am freezing cold. And I haven't even had my dinner yet, so would like to get home and have some food. DHL will be off to Auckland, I believe. I will double check that, because now I've said that, I probably am wrong. Yep, HJ2 767 300 JHFER VHEXZ. Number 1 workplace delivery. Sydney to Auckland. Oh no, look, see, there you go. This is why I'm struggling with the streaming at the moment, because of the battery. It's an hour and 15 minutes and it's dead. So we'll wrap this up after this DHL departure, I guess. So I know it's only a short stream, but if you liked it, it'd be good if you could hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. So I'm not sure if I want people to subscribe, because I got 747. It's a good number to have. No, I'm joking, of course we want people to subscribe, but just get it to 774,400. Apologise for that red flashing battery at the top.
Qantas 498, wind 260 degrees, 6 knots. The tailwind 2 knots. Runway 16 right, with left.
She usually makes a bit of noise, this thing, when she leaves.
Runway 16 right, contact 22.
Hi there, I was on another stream that had technical issues, so this stream popped up. Amazing what you find by accident. Well, it's a pleasure to have you here, Ryan. What stream were you watching, sorry? Technical issues are the worst. I feel for any person who goes and sets up and does a stream and then they have technical issues. It's so disheartening. Like I know, Tim's had a couple recently, and it's just like you get all that effort, you set everything up, and then it just doesn't work.
Line up, runway 16 right.
So everyone's piled out 15 minutes before curfew tonight. Oh no. What do I do? trust that. Messed up the last departure of the night. What an idiot.
Silver 22, contact departure here.
It's too far, guys. You still get him?
Silver 22, contact departure.
Oh, there's this bad boy about to go. I love watching these things push back. They don't even push back, they're that tiny, you turn around on the day. When did the news come out about PIA starting service to Sydney? That came out, I'd say probably almost close to 6 months ago now. I have seen, they had flights scheduled to come here, but they didn't happen for some reason. I know Miss Will's batched one. As I said before, I was like, I've got new heap more batteries coming.